People talk about the American dream like it vanished overnight. Like someone flipped a switch. It didn't. It's still here. It just doesn't look like what it used to. Ask a Gen Z teenager what success looks like, and you'll hear something strange. Not a house. Not a white picket fence. Not a lifetime job. You'll hear words like flexibility, freedom, control, and underneath that, distrust. Not anger. Not rebellion. Something quieter. Because for Gen Z, and the generation right behind them, the dream wasn't taken away. They watched it fail in real time. They were children when the adults around them lost jobs in 2008. They were teenagers when college debt became a punchline. They came of age during a pandemic that froze the world and never fully unfroze it. So when older generations say, just work hard, it doesn't land the same. Because Gen Z did the math. And the math didn't add up. For decades, the American dream followed a simple path. Education, career, homeownership, stability. But somewhere along the way, each step started breaking. Degrees became expensive before they became valuable. Careers became temporary. Housing became unreachable. And the promise underneath it all, that tomorrow would be better, quietly cracked. At first, it looked like a delay. Young people renting longer. Moving back home. Putting off marriage. Temporary, everyone said. Then the delay became a pattern. And the pattern became a choice. Gen Z isn't rejecting ownership because they don't want it. They're rejecting it because ownership doesn't mean safety anymore. A house isn't a guarantee. It's a risk. A job isn't loyalty. It's a contract that can vanish with an email. Even institutions that once felt permanent, banks, schools, employers, now feel conditional. So Gen Z adapted. They started valuing mobility over roots, access over ownership, skills over titles. They don't ask, how do I settle down? They ask, how fast can I move if things collapse? This is where people misunderstand them. They call it laziness, commitment issues, entitlement. But it's none of those things. It's risk management. Gen Z grew up watching systems fail without warning. They learned that stability can be revoked, that promises can be rewritten. So they stopped trusting long-term guarantees. Instead of one career, they build stacks of skills. Instead of one location, they keep their lives portable. Instead of loyalty to companies, they keep leverage. Owning less isn't a flaw. It's a strategy. And Gen Alpha, the kids growing up now, are absorbing this even faster. They're watching older siblings struggle with rent. They're watching parents juggle subscriptions instead of savings. They're watching algorithms decide who gets seen, hired, approved. To them, permanence feels like a myth. So they don't chase it. Here's the moment where things almost turn hopeful. Technology promises freedom, remote work, digital income, global opportunity. For a while, it feels like the dream is evolving, not dying. You can live anywhere, work everywhere, be anything. But then the costs catch up. Housing follows remote workers. Rent rises. Insurance disappears. Platforms change rules overnight. And suddenly, flexibility starts to feel fragile too. This is the turning point. Because the new American dream doesn't collapse in one dramatic moment. It frays, quietly, piece by piece. Trust erodes first. Trust in institutions. Trust in permanence. Trust that playing by the rules will be rewarded. So Gen Z rewrites the rules. They invest in experiences instead of property. They choose community over institutions. They prioritize mental health over prestige. Not because they don't care. Because they care too much to bet everything on a system that already failed once. This isn't a political shift. It's a survival response. And it's spreading. By 2028, this mindset won't be generational anymore. It will be normal. A society where ownership is optional, movement is constant, and trust is earned slowly, if at all. The American dream didn't disappear. It shed its weight. It stopped promising permanence and started promising adaptability. The question isn't whether this new version is better or worse. The question is what happens to a country built on long-term commitments, when its youngest generations no longer believe those commitments will last. Because once a dream is rewritten quietly, you don't notice the change until you realize you're chasing something entirely different than the people who came before you. And by then, the old version is already gone.